The studio lights shimmered across the polished stage, reflecting the tension beneath the smiles of the hosts. The view was live and millions of viewers had tuned in, expecting the usual blend of gossip, celebrity interviews, and lighthearted banter. But today was different. Tim Allen, Hollywood's lovable, rugged actor, known for his sarcastic humor and unforgettable roles, had agreed to join the show to promote his new film. He walked onto the stage with his signature grin, waving at the audience. His casual confidence a stark contrast to the anxious energy in the air. Joy Behar, seated to his left, greeted him with her trademark wry smile. "Tim, great to have you here. We've heard so much about your new movie. Sounds explosive." Tim chuckled. "Explosive in all the right ways, I hope." The conversation began smoothly. Joy asked about his career, his inspirations, and the challenges of Hollywood. Tim answered with charm, sharing funny anecdotes about filming and behind-the-scenes stories. The audience laughed. The cameras panned over their reactions. Everything seemed normal. But then the tone shifted subtly. Joy leaned forward, a hint of mischief in her eyes. "You know, Tim, your political statements have gotten a lot of attention lately." Some would say, controversial. "Care to explain?" Tim's smile faltered slightly. "Well, I believe everyone's entitled to their opinion. I try not to stir up drama." "Drama?" Joy echoed, her voice dripping with playful skepticism. "Isn't that what celebrity opinions usually create?" The tension was palpable now. Tim's eyes flicked toward the other hosts, who were exchanging uneasy glances. The studio audience, though still clapping politely, sensed a shift. Tim took a deep breath, trying to maintain his composure. "Look, I'm here to talk about my work, my film. Politics, that's a different battlefield." Joy's smile didn't fade. "But isn't it part of your life, your public persona? People watch your movies, they follow your opinions. Aren't you responsible for the way you influence them?" It was a fair question, but the way it was framed made it feel like an accusation. Tim's jaw tightened ever so slightly, the humor in his eyes replaced by something sharper. I try to make people laugh," he said carefully, his voice steady. "I don't set out to offend or attack anyone." Joy leaned closer, her tone firm now. "But sometimes it feels like that's exactly what you do." The studio grew quieter. Even the producers behind the cameras exchanged nervous glances. Tim Allen, usually calm and affable, was visibly bracing himself. His hands, resting lightly on the table, curled into fists for a brief moment. The audience could feel the tension radiating. Tim's voice rose slightly, not in anger, but with an edge that immediately grabbed attention. "Look, I've spent my life making people laugh. That's what I do best. I've never claimed to be perfect. But I also don't attack people for disagreeing with me." Joy's eyebrows rose. "No one said you attacked anyone." But Tim interrupted, his usual humor stripped away. "It feels like every word is being twisted these days. Everyone's ready to pounce on a comment, turn it into something it's not. I've had enough of tiptoeing around every opinion I have." The room froze. The audience held its breath. Cameras zoomed in on his face, his eyes blazing, his expression uncharacteristically intense. Joy, taken aback but still composed, tried to regain control. "Tim, we're just having a conversation here." But Tim shook his head. "No, this isn't a conversation anymore. It's an interrogation." The segment, meant to be light and promotional, was rapidly spiraling into uncharted territory. The producers were signaling frantically from the sidelines, but live television waits for no one. The bell had rung. The storm was coming. The tension escalated with every word. Joy Behar's smirk had faded. She leaned back, adjusting her glasses, clearly realizing she might have provoked more than she intended. Tim Allen's voice, now steady but sharp, cut through the background noise. "You know what I've realized? Everyone's got an agenda. Everyone's trying to make someone look foolish or wrong. Well, I'm done playing along." Joy's tone hardened, her gaze locked on him. "Tim, you're here on a live show. You can't just—" "I can, and I will," Tim snapped, his words echoing through the studio. The audience gasped. Cameras swiveled to capture the intensity. This was no longer a friendly chat. It was a full-blown confrontation. Everyone's so quick to judge, to assume, to criticize without understanding. And I'm not going to sit here and be treated like I'm some villain. The other hosts tried to intervene. "Tim, let's take a—" But he wasn't finished. "No." "I'm tired of people twisting words." "You think you're witty, Joy? Making jokes at my expense? This isn't funny anymore. Joy Behar leaned forward, her voice low but firm. Tim, calm down. It's a discussion, not a battle. Tim's eyes narrowed. A discussion? That's cute. You call this a discussion? I call this a trap. And I don't play by traps. The tension was so thick it could be cut with a knife. The audience was silent, riveted. Social media exploded as viewers live-tweeted every word. The comment sections were already lighting up with speculation, memes, and debate. The producers desperately signaled for a commercial break. But Tim Allen wasn't backing down. He pointed a finger not aggressively but decisively. If this is what you want, a fight, a battle of words, I'll give it. But I won't be silent anymore. Not here, not anywhere. Joy, for the first time, looked uncertain. She had faced tough celebrities before, but Tim's intensity was unexpected. The other hosts tried to steer the conversation back, but the momentum had shifted entirely. Finally, Tim took a deep breath, his voice dropping to a calm but menacing tone. I came here to promote my movie. I came here to entertain people, not to be put on trial by someone who thinks their opinion is more important than the truth. A long pause followed. The cameras lingered on their faces. The studio was caught in a rare, unscripted moment of suspense. No one spoke for a beat too long. The audience could sense that anything could happen next. Then Tim Allen leaned back, a faint sardonic smile returning to his face. So, Joy, are we done now? Joy Behar, clearly unsettled but regaining composure, nodded slowly. Yes, we're done. For now. The tension remained palpable as the cameras faded to a commercial break. Social media exploded further. Clips of the confrontation were already trending. Hashtags multiplying by the second. Tim Allen on The View, Joy Behar clash, Ash live TV drama. Behind the scenes, producers breathed sighs of relief but knew the fallout would be enormous. Ratings had spiked, but at what cost? The lights dimmed in the studio as Tim Allen left the set. The air was thick with adrenaline, and murmurs followed him through the corridors. Fans and critics alike were dissecting every word of the confrontation in real time. Backstage, Tim addressed the producers, still heated but collected. I didn't come here to fight, I came here to speak my mind. If that upset people, that's not my problem. I'm done tiptoeing. Producers nodded nervously. Tim, the audience, they love you, but this... Tim waved them off. I know. And they'll understand. People can smell authenticity. They know when someone's being honest. That's all I did. Joy Behar, meanwhile, was in her dressing room, reflecting on what had just happened. She had seen heated exchanges before, but Tim Allen's intensity had caught her off guard. She realized that live television, while a platform for conversation, could also become a battlefield. Outside, social media erupted. Clips of Tim standing his ground against Joy Behar went viral within minutes. Supporters praised his courage. Critics condemned his outburst. Every news outlet scrambled to cover the incident. Ratings for the episode shattered previous records. Late that night, Tim Allen sat in his hotel room, scrolling through the headlines. The words on the screen reflected a storm, a perfect mixture of admiration, outrage, and fascination. He leaned back, letting out a sigh. The confrontation was over, but the story had only just begun. He picked up his phone and sent a message to a close friend. Live TV is war, but I fought my battle. The drama, suspense, and tension of that day would remain etched in viewers' memories for months. A simple celebrity interview had transformed into a spectacle of human emotion, confrontation, and unfiltered truth. And in the world of entertainment, that is sometimes more powerful than any movie. Tim Allen had lost his temper, but in doing so, he had revealed something far greater. A man unwilling to compromise his voice, even under the bright lights of live television. The screen faded to black. The viewers were left breathless, debating, replaying every moment, and waiting for the next unexpected turn in the ongoing saga of Tim Allen versus The View.